What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Dreamstar Toys Hook Warrior, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale stylized version of Hook. So we took a look at the first one here, that was the Scrapper, and now we're looking at this guy. These are being sent to me by Brian W. Thanks for allowing me to take a look. He's also letting me hold on to these, so it's very generous of him to allow me to keep these. He's also sending me the Mecha Invasion. That set's almost done. We got 4 of them. There's only 2 left. So that'll be here soon, and we'll finish off that set. But in the meantime, we'll take a look at this guy. And he is very good looking. He's got that beautiful metallic paint. It's kind of like a metallic army green, and then a purple with gold temples kind of all over. Gold accents and details throughout the figure. This is the default configuration. You don't have to have these wings up like this if you don't like them, but that's how it is meant to be, so I put it like that. But if you don't like that, you can fold it away. Here's the back. You have his hook, as you'd expect for Hook, hanging on the back. If you don't like this, you can rotate this down, bring this up, and then this will tab in right here, so kind of out of the way. Personally, my preference is to have it like that, but it does clean up a little bit more. I just think it looks more like Hook, to be honest, but you can have it either way. You can also remove this hook if you don't want it there. So just to show you how it's pegging, there's 2 pegs here. There's 2 slots right here. So you can just plug that in. Make sure you have this folded in, and that will fit right there. Really nice details on the hook as well. Let's go over the articulation. Head is on a ball joint, so you get forward and backward, side to side, rotates around. It's really nice movement on the head. There is a light up feature in the head. Unfortunately, I don't have the batteries. I'm not going to bother with the batteries this time. They all have the light up feature. I think what I'll do is, at the end, when we get to the Devastator combined mode, which is going to be a while, we'll light up at least the Devastator. But for each of these individual ones, I wasn't really feeling it. But it's a pretty good looking head. It does have translucent red plastic for the eyes. But it does look like a little bit of a metallic red, or is it translucent up here as well? For the shoulders, you have a rotation on a ratchet. Nice feeling ratchet. Out to the side on friction. All of the tolerances and joints feel very nice. Nice professional quality. You have a rotation at the elbow. It does kind of pop this tire out. You can get that out of the way, but it does end up popping that off a little bit. You just push that back on. You have a double jointed elbow, but the way it works, you really can't get further than that. So you can either get the top one, and if you shift it back, same thing. It kind of stops there just due to this panel. Now, if you ignore this panel a little bit, you can get it a little bit further, but I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense. You're cheating for sure. You have a rotation at the wrist, individually articulated fingers and thumb on 1, 2, 3 pins, and then the thumb is on a ball joint and 2 pins. Nicely done hands, just like the previous one. We have a waist swivel here on a ratchet. Again, that feels really nice. There's a hidden waist ab crunch, so if you pull out this little piece here, that will allow you to crunch down the abs. I found that to be really cool. Just the way it's designed, it just looks cool. Nice gold accents here as well. Hip skirt is on a rotating swivel. So there's a swivel here, goes forward and backwards. And then there's a mushroom peg. So you can get that out of the way. Leg will kick up to there on a ratchet. Back to there, hindered by the backpack there. There is a hip skirt back here. It just kind of sits back there. It doesn't really lock in place. Legs kick out of there on a ratchet. Nice strong ratchets. Rotation at the thigh. And the first detent is a reasonable distance. So good design there. Rotation of the thigh around universal. You have a single jointed knee, gets you 90 degrees just due to the skull. Actually, a little past 90 degrees. So you get a little bit more. And then coming down to the feet, you have ankle tilts all the way out to there, just due to the design. Toe tilt forward and backward. And that's it for the feet. All right, let's take a look at the accessories. We get this gun, done in black plastic, metallic red, and then gunmetal paint. Pull out on this, pull down on this handle, and there's your gun. And that will fit in the hands. A little tiny tab or a slot for a tab in the hand. It does peg in, and he holds it without putting his fingers around, but it's small, so just make sure you get that on there before you close the fingers around it. That works pretty well. You also get this other gun. Looks like this. This can also be put in his hand. You can fold down this handle. And again, you've got the little slot tab system. And if we open this up, we can put this in here. And we can close the fingers around it. Now he has two guns, which is cool. You can combine them together if you want. It stows this way for the vehicle mode, but you can combine them like this. I don't think I like the look of it, but just like I showed you, you can tab this in and have, you know, a bigger, you know, super gun or whatever. Actually, does it plug in here? No, it doesn't. Okay. So you have those two things. We also can come to the back here, and this hook can come off and become a weapon. Now, it does multiple things. So the first thing you can do is open this up, open up the hook, pull the green part out, not this black. This also extends, by the way. So you just pull the green part out, maybe like a third of the way. Then you're going to take this gun. That's going to attach right here. Kind of just push the hook down on top of it. And come to the back. And if you take a look here, we can bring this wing piece up, rotate it around. There's a little peg right there. We're going to close this up so you have that peg. And I knocked off the gun. I'll put it back on in a second. So that will peg in right here. Like that. And let's get this gun back on here. You have this if you want to do this. And it works better if you put his hand and he's actually holding it. Give it a little bit of support. But that's pretty neat. He can have an over-the-shoulder cannon. Or, if you prefer, you can unplug this. And we can take this. If you come to the top here, grab this thing and open this up. This will fit right here. There's two slots and two pegs on this red piece. So plugged it in right there. We can open up this piston so it looks like that. Kind of have it angled like that. Fold that up. And this will become a scythe. Right, there you go. There he is holding the scythe. That's pretty cool. You could probably also close that up and have him hold it here. And that might be a little more secure just because it's shorter and he can fit his hands around it, but it's somewhat of a heavy scythe, so it doesn't really like lock into his hand. One other thing you can do is you can store the blade back here on the backpack or on the side of the arm or the back of the arm, kind of like an under grip, knife weapon. So nice option there too. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Basically the same size, a little bit shorter than him, so he will come in a little bit shorter than Megatron. But these are big bots. I think this is going to be a very big Devastator just because of the size of them overall. It's going to be an impressive and stylized, obviously, but an impressive looking Devastator when they're done. And for another comparison, there it is next to the first member of the team, the Shovel Warrior, their version of Scrapper. And he is actually bigger than this guy. But man, this team looks really good together. I'm going to make a prediction. I think this set's going to be pretty amazing. Now, for me personally, I'm not really interested. It's just too stylized for me. And there's already too many Devastators on my plate. But very, very cool looking so far. Alright, now let's get Hook transformed into his vehicle mode. And it is a pretty long transformation involved, but it's not difficult and it's not annoying. So good on them. But go ahead and come to the back here. You can transform it with this on there, but just to make our lives easier, just take that off. Set that aside for now. We'll put it back on later. So here's how it looks without that. And we start on the upper body. We're going to unpeg these from here. Just leave those back like that. Come to the front. We'll take these arms, lift these up. I'm going to rotate the elbows around. Lift up on this panel, fold the hand in. Make sure the hand is in a fist like this. That'll fold in, and then make sure you got the thumb in there and stow away in there. And then you're going to collapse down on this hinge. So you have this panel sticking out. Bring that up and leave that like that. All right, same with this one. Lift this up. I'll do this off camera. I'll be right back. All right, now we've got the arms taken care of. We can take care of some of this on the back. Bring the legs together, so just fold them down. And there's a bunch of pegs in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, or 4. Those are going to come together. And move this out of the way. And we just peg all that together. Like that. We can come to here. We're going to bring out these wheels. Fold your toe in. Fold the heel in. So it looks like that. Now we can bring this up. And this is going to unpeg from here. So you can bring all that up and out. It's just unpegging from down here. Let's bring that up. On the inside here, we're going to rotate this panel just a little bit. And that'll allow it to pass through. Rotate this around. Like that. And then bring that back down. Bring this all the way forward. And it should end up like that. But we'll do this one first before we bring it down. So same thing on this side. Rotate it a little bit. Bring this around. Rotate it 180 degrees. Bring that back down. Bring this down. And you can peg those two pieces together. It's a firm peg, so you might have to push a little bit harder than you'd expect. I'll bring this down. That's going to peg in right here and right here. And then these are going to come down. These are going to come around and up like this. Make sure those peg in on both sides, and then close this little tab right here. So that should be the front of your truck. For these wheels, you're just going to peg those in. You're going to fold down on this double hinge right here, and then peg in to the front and back. So same on this side, peg those in. So you got the front of the truck pretty much done there. Now we can come to here. We'll take care of this. Open up this double hinge. Open up this hinge. You got this little plate here. You're going to fold it back on this double hinge. And that's going to peg in here on the front, on the back. On the front, bring this down. Make sure the legs are straight. There's a peg and a slot right there. So bring this down and tab it in. Same on this side. Bring this down. Again, make sure the legs are straight. Tap that in. It should be looking something like this. Come to this backpack. We're going to unpeg this from here. It's just pegged in right here and here. And this will accordion back. And that'll give us a little room to work. So we're going to come to the front here. And we can open up this ab crunch. We're going to unpeg these two pieces here, which will allow you to take this. Now that you've unpegged it, the center section is going to flip all the way around and end up here. This piece here is going to fold down like this. End up like that. On the inside here, we're going to pull up on this. So we have to actually unpeg this hip skirt from here. That's going to fold down. All right, next we're going to unpeg this middle section, and you have to kind of pull forward on this black piece. They'll unpeg it from there. And then this will peg in right here, so there's a second hole there to peg that in. And just leave these down for now because we're going to put those away later. From the inside here, these are going to fold in. And if it's not lined up, make sure the waist is swiveled straight. So fold these down under here. And then you can kind of straighten this out. This is going to come back, accordion back. There's 2 pegs right here, so get that pegged in. And that'll kind of hold things together for you, but inside there's a couple pegs too. And just get those in now, because otherwise, you know, it's going to kind of move on you. All right, so get those out of the way, and now we'll take care of this. So bring this back, and this will sit right in here where we made all these changes over here. So bring that in, and these 2 green pieces will fit right in there. On the top, we're going to collapse this down. It should actually peg in on the top. So you're pushing this into here. Same on this side. Give this a little push. You should feel it actually like click into place and tab into place. So here's how we're looking. And on the back here, you can peg these arms right into here. There's a small peg on the inside. Make sure those make their way into the side of the arms. There's a small peg hole for those to go in. Make sure you go in the right slot too. So those should peg in right here. Open these up. That just gives a little clearance for the bottom of the vehicle. These are going to fold upwards and sit flat on the bottom. So here's how we're looking. Then we can take, oh, and this wheel came up. Then we can take these. These are going to rotate back, accordion up, and then peg into here. Same thing on here. Rotate this up. Leave these little handles right here where they were. They don't need to move. And finishing touch, open this up. There's a peg right here. It's going into a slot on his hip. So peg that in. And open up this one, peg that in. And make sure everything's squeezed together. And if you have everything right, it should roll nicely on the wheels. Then we're going to take this, open this up, bring down this peg. That's going to peg in right here. So peg that in there. All right, there's Hook Warrior in vehicle mode, and I think it looks awesome. They did a really nice job with this. Lots of nice detail. You got the diamond plates here, gold accents all throughout. Nice big wheels with rubber tires. It rolls nicely. Not all the wheels contact at the same time, but it's okay because it's an 8-wheeled vehicle. I don't expect them all to touch, but it works. Nice looking crane here. It's operational. It rotates this way. You can lift it up and down on this hinge. You can keep going on this piston hinge. It gets pretty high up. You get all the way up to there. Then you can extend this and get it even further. So you can get this, you know, really high. And you can bring this back down. Collapse this down. On the end here, we do have a moving hook. Let's move that back and forth. This can extend in and out. Lots of nice display option for this hook. Nice translucent red windshield with wipers. Here's the back. Has a little like engine or something back here. I don't know. Cleans up nicely and it just looks good overall. You can store some weapons on here. So if we grab the 2 guns, and like I mentioned earlier, you can peg them together like this. Then you can grab the scythe blade. Put that there. And you're going to fold down this little peg right there. And that peg's going to go right here on the side. And that fits there and stores. I love when they think of weapon storage for things like this. We can also come to this side and store the head. So here's the head. Actually, I haven't shown it much in this review yet, but really nice looking head. We'll look at this more in the combined mode when we do that video. But you're going to lift up on this back panel here. You're going to fold the neck up into there. Bring this around. Don't close this down yet. You're going to open up this panel on the side. Bring this up, and there's a peg or armature that's going to make its way into the side of this. And then you're going to bring this down, and then this will go under the chin, like this. Now this is supposed to rotate, at least in the picture on the box, but I think it works better straight, otherwise it pops off that ball joint. Peg right here, it's going to go into that slot right there on the back. So get this pegged in, and now you have storage for the head. I think that's pretty cool. And it does look like, you know, a piece of the truck. So you can pretty much store everything on here, which is very, very cool. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Fits in nicely with the Masterpiece scale. I like the big honking wheels, just because it makes it look more intimidating. And it's pretty long, so this wheel forward more length than Optimus. And overall, just a good looking vehicle. Alright, now let's get him transformed into his combined leg mode. And today we're going to skip the combined chest mode. We'll do that in the final review for all these guys. Go ahead and remove this, place that down, and just set this aside for now. And we'll take care of this. So there's a little bit of work to do here on the front. So what we're going to do is, actually I already unpegged these wheels. I'm going to unpeg this from here and bring this down. Then I'll sit like that. We're going to take all of this and it's going to rotate backwards. So I just found this interesting the way they did it. So we can unpeg this from here, and we need to separate this piece right here from here. Once you do that, you can lift this entire center section and rotate that back to here. Before you set it down, rotate these pieces down all the way, and you'll expose these little pegs which will fit into these slots. Alright, there we go. Alright, once you get that pegged in, we can take this section here, make sure these wheels are unpegged from both sides. Actually fold these back and then bring this up, and that's going to sit like this. So you can see the cockpit's a little bit different than how we had it in vehicle mode. On the bottom here, you're going to bring these wheels back, peg them into the sides, bring these up. I forgot one little step here, so I'm going to have to go back a little bit. That's okay. You can grab a spudger and just poke these out and lift those up out of the way. Then you can bring this up, peg the wheels in on the sides, bring these wheels flat on the bottom, bring these down, and this makes the bottom of the foot. And then come to here, we're going to take this section here, fold that up. All of this is going to come back like this. Close these back up, bring this down, and that'll just sit right there on the back. Alright, and there he is in leg mode. And it's pretty solid and good looking. Quite nice. The bottom is pretty flat because you got the wheels and then you got this piece, so it sits very flat. These are just for looks, these two pieces. They don't really stabilize anything, but they do look good. You have a little bit of articulation, so if you look right here, you'll see there's a little track for this screw. If you unpeg this wheel from the side, you can angle that out, and that gives you the heel heel tilt. So that works pretty well. Let's put that back down. You can store the weapons. If you take this will store right here on the front. And if you come to the back, we can also store the hook crane. It'll fit right here. There's 2 tabs and 2 slots right here. So get that pegged in. And it's pretty solid. I mean, it's really, everything stays on there and works nicely together. All right, and since we're in combined mode, we might as well take a look at some of the combined mode parts because they have their own transformations and features here. So here's the chest plate. We're not going to go into chest mode here. We're going to do that in the final review for these Dreamstar Toys figures, but it does transform. It turns into a Megatron figure. It's a Build-A-Figure. So you get different parts with different sets of these, and this is the upper body for Megatron. So let's take a look at the transformation. We're going to open up these. We'll slide that waist piece back, allow you to open it up. Come to here, we're going to take these arms and get those out of the way. Actually lift this down and then lift up the arms. Get those out of the way. That'll allow you to unpeg these wing pieces. So rotate that up and out of the way. Same on this side, unpeg it, rotate it up and out of the way. Bring the arms out to the side. We're going to accordion this down, rotate this around. And then on this side, we can open up this panel, flip out the hand, and then close up that panel. And you can kind of collapse this down a little bit. Same on this side. And now we can take care of this center chest section. So if you have all that folded away, we can rotate these backwards. And let me just make sure I have this right. We're going to bring this chest piece back up, rotate this up, slide that in. And I assume there's a crotch piece that's going to plug in right to here. We'll find out when we get to the next one. Bring this panel down. There's 2 pegs right here and 2 slots. It's going to peg into that chest piece. And let me make sure I have this right. Just fold these out for now, but we're going to peg that in, give that a good squeeze. And then these will come back up and peg in right here. So bring that down, line that up, and peg it in. Right, so you end up like something like that. He does have a bit of a backpack back here. Here's how we're looking. You're going to open up this front plate, flip out the head. It actually clicks into place back here. Make sure you get it all the way back and then close that up. And there's your Megatron chest, head, and arms. So we still need the bottom crotch and legs. I think it's going to come in 2 more parts, but it really does look cool. It's a cool looking Megatron. Obviously all stylized figures here. Nice metallic red, gunmetal, that matte purple with all the same paint schemes. It does look good. But let's set him aside. I'll just put him up here for now. And we also have this head. And this head also transforms. I showed you how it can store in vehicle mode, but if you pull off this panel right here, it's just pegged in like that. We can pull out this visor. Just be careful, it's a thin red plastic. Pull off the face. Looks like that. And I'm going to not only swap the face, but also give you the alternate ears. So here is the Prowlistator ears. Metallic red. It looks really nice. That plugs into the same spot we just removed the other things. And here you get the Prowl head. That's really cool. I find that to be very neat that they work that gimmick in there. This thing is going to do a lot in combined mode because it has 8 figures. It's just going to be crazy, but very cool transformations and functionality with these combiner parts. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Toy World Constructor version of Mixmaster, and you can see just how big this is going to be. It's going to be pretty tall, and already it's above the knee, and I'm assuming the combiner part for the combined mode will have a knee joint there because there's no knee joint here. So yeah, it's going to be a big bot. So final recommendations on the Dreamstar Toys Hook Warrior. This is another great figure from Dreamstar, and they're on a roll here with these Constructicons, and it's kind of surprising because the Superion and the aerial bots were not good. They were really quite disappointing. This is almost like a different company. They really have improved. All three modes work well: the robot mode, vehicle mode, and the leg mode. I haven't looked at the chest mode, but I'm going to assume it just works. I love the versatility. You can use different weapons in all three modes. You can store the weapons. You have lots of different looks. I just tried this just to see what happened, and it looks great. You got the little cannon on the top. You can also put the hook over the shoulder for, a giant over the shoulder cannon. I mean, this really just tons and tons of playability, versatility. It looks very, very good. So yeah, highly recommend it. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. They really did a great job on this guy. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.